And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a game called Frankindex. This game here is about counting numbers, counting cubes. You're going to have cubes that are hidden inside a bag. How many cubes are in this bag? Guess. Are you listening? All right, let's see if you're right. Come on, guys. Did you say 3? Because if you did, you were correct. Okay, you're not actually going by hearing here. You're going by feeling, and I can't actually do that through the video. Let me show you. Each bag of the game is going to be filled with a certain number of cubes. So for example, here we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cubes are in this bag, and you're going to put a different number of cubes in each bag, including a bag with no cubes in it. There's also 11 cards that are numbered from 0 to 10. And so on a player's turn, in the basic game, you draw a card, 2, and then closing your eyes, you got to find the bag that you think has only 2 in it. So let's say I say it's this bag. I open the bag and see, oh, there was actually 3 cubes in that bag. So the 2 card is discarded, and it's the next player's turn. You keep going until all 11 cards are gone. Whoever has most cards is the winner. You can also play variants where if you get the number wrong, it goes in the bottom, and you keep going until someone gets it right. There's also variants where you can feel a bag, or you can do a speed one. You put the numbers down. People are trying to grab and all feel and grab the right bag at the right point in time. Or even a memory match one where on your turn, you put out all the cards, and on your turn, you can either feel a bag or you can flip a card. Oh, and if you flip a card and you know where that bag is, here's a 0 bag. That one was pretty easy. And so that's basically variations. There's even a cooperative game, but they're all essentially about feeling these bags and guesstimating how many cubes are inside. No matter what else I say about the game, I have to say the biggest problem with the game currently is the components themselves. These little bags with drawstrings are fine, but you know what? There's no way really to keep them tightened up. And you need to, I suppose I could tie knots in them, but if you tie knots in them, how are you going to open them up to see what pieces are in? And the problem is, if you mess with these at all, if you're feeling these, if they're moving around, they are going to open and cubes are going to fall out. It has happened in every single game that I've played. And I have to say I'm not a big fan of that, and I think that actually breaks the game to the point where I can't recommend it. See, I'm saying, now everything else about the game is fine. I like the artwork on the cards. The artwork on the cards is fun. We have little monsters on these cards, and that's fine, That looks good. It's a good thing for counting. It's a good thing for kids. Feel the bag, how many cubes are inside and such, and the game works well. But the game could have been more. The game could have had that for the little kids, feeling how many cubes are inside, but it also could have had something for older kids where there's the speed element. And those games are actually in the book, but they just don't work in that regard. It reminds me of another game I played a long time ago called Igloo Pop, where the things were hidden inside little igloos, and you would shake them and listen to them, and then the number was written on the bottom. You didn't have to open them up. But because you have to open these up, and they're little cubes that easily fall on the floor, if I'm playing with very little kids anyway, these cubes are probably a little too small for them. And if I play with older kids, they're going to have problems with that. You need to use a timer, by the way. Otherwise, you'll have people sitting there. Does this have 8 cubes? No. Does this have 8 cubes? No. Imagine doing that for all the bags. That could get very old very quickly. The concept of the game, I like it. I think it should work. At this point in time, though, it doesn't. And that's kind of unfortunate because that's really the whole crux of the review. The idea of using the cards and finding things. Although, I will say, if you find it and get it wrong and it goes away, that seemed like a weird rule. We always play that you put the cards back in. That just was odd. 11 cards, if you're playing with 4 players, that means one player only goes twice, everyone else goes 3. It's very strange. But honestly, the gameplay itself is interesting. It's just at this point, functionally, can't recommend it. Dice Tower judgment, unsound.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at coolstuffinc.com.
Shut the door.